And as President Trump said, the Republican Party spent tens of millions of dollars running against Joe Biden.
Oh, this part's really awesome. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Are you out of money? Why did they go ahead and change who the candidate is? That's so real Donald Trump, 5:52 p.m. Eastern. We are forced to spend time and money on fighting crooked Joe Biden. He polls badly after having a terrible debate and quits the race. Now we have to start all over again. Shouldn't the Republican Party be reimbursed for fraud? And yo, he's so mad. Come on, man. Don't give the game away. You're basically all but confirming that this is a good move. That's wild. He's like, come on, dude. We want it. We want the money. We want our money back. Shouldn't the Republican Party be reimbursed for fraud in that everybody around Joe, including his doctors and fake news media, just knew he wasn't capable of running for or being president? Just asking. Just asking? That's wild. He's tweeting in a way where he's never tweeted before. He doesn't tweet like this normally. Okay? He is sad. Bro is panicking.
Biden's campaign co-chair, Cedric Richmond, was saying this.
I want to be crystal clear. He's made a decision, and that decision is to accept the nomination and run for re-election, win re-election.
Yeah, okay. Just a few hours later, a letter was released bearing Biden's signature announcing he's going to step aside from the race. So what happened?
That's so funny. They're crying foul. They're playing to the referee. They're like, I don't like it. They're not playing fair. Like, get the out of here, dude.
I want everyone to understand there are a few points we have to be very clear about tonight. Biden tonight is just as overall healthy and just as capable of doing the job as he was before the debate with President Trump. Obama, Schumer, Pelosi, they all knew that he was, basically not completely together. That weeks and weeks and weeks ago. In fact, they've known it for years, but they didn't care. They didn't care so long as it didn't threaten their hold on power. So what changed for Biden wasn't his overall competence.
They're so good. They immediately moved on. They're like, all right, time to bust out the new moves, okay? Thank you. Please, this is sanity, okay? The last insane, chaotic, stupid month in American politics has obscured a simple, basic truth. Trump is deeply unpopular and an eminently beatable politician. It is so f***ing real. And this is the reason why I was saying that even Joe Biden, despite being a f***ing carcass that people now recognize is a carcass, still had a shot at defeating Donald Trump, albeit a shot that was increasingly getting worse and worse. As days went on, Joe Biden's chances of winning this re-election was getting harder and harder. Having said that, however, I think people forget how unimaginably unpopular Donald Trump is. I don't think he's unpopular. Brother, you are wrong, okay? I'll say it like this. 2016 Donald Trump was new. He was fresh. People were like, ooh, this is a guy. I really hate the system. I'll blow up this goddamn system. 2020 Donald Trump lost after 4 years of being president. At that point, he was no longer an unknown entity. Everybody knew him. His popularity stayed solidly at that 30% base of support. That support is an absolute must if you want to win the Republican Party's primaries. But the Republican Party itself recognized how polarizing and unpopular Donald Trump was. Okay, I live in Butler. Uh-oh. Yeah. He might be popular in Butler, but guess what? Butler County, Pennsylvania is 14,000 people, okay? He is not popular in populated areas. That's a predicament. You know what I mean? When we're talking about Pennsylvania, like, yeah, sure, the countryside surrounds the cities, but, we're not doing a Maoist peasant revolution or some shit, okay? We're doing an election. And in a democratic election, you got to be popular in the cities, too, if you want to win the state. You feel me? He won in 2016, which disproves that. Brother, Donald Trump in 2016, like I said, was an anti-establishment candidate. He had not actually shown what he would be like if he was the president, okay? Also, Donald Trump still lost the popular vote, so there is that reality as well. Yeah, Trump losing his incumbency advantage should be evidence enough. Yes, Donald Trump is not a popular person. He's a very polarizing candidate, and he's also a very unpopular candidate. He is perhaps one of the best candidates that the Democratic Party at this stage could run against. And the Republican Party recognized that reality, which is why they tried to get him out.
There's also something happening on TikTok. Trump owned Twitter. I think Kamala Harris is going to own TikTok. Young people are remixing her dancing. They're remixing some of her moments that we have found like, oh, this is cringy. Young people love it. They're putting "they not like us" under those TikTok memes. They're putting "get information." Something is happening in terms of energy, and I think that would scare the jeebers out of the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign is scared tonight because something is happening now outside their calculations, outside their control. This thing could go outside of the control of the campaign. There could be a real movement here.
It's always been the case.
Worst thing Kamala Harris could do in this moment is try to do that dark Brandon shit and like lean into the memes, by the way. No, just be your goofy damn self, okay? But also be a little bit more, you know, be a little bit better with your messaging. I would say dial back the goofy a little bit, you know? There'll still be some goofy shit, but just don't. Oh my God, I hope they don't try to do that. I hope they don't try to lean into that shit. Please, 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 please. That would be devastating. Bad news for you. Vote Dark Brandon. They're definitely going to do that. Yeah, guys, Republicans went from saying Biden is old as shit to saying whatever this is. I think we have a really good shot here. No, that's what I said too earlier. Exactly. Good take on that video retweeted by Ed Ingermantum. It's so sick that Republicans are going to lose because they can't stop bullying people for 5 minutes. Yeah, no, literally. Dude, I'm telling you right now, it's not 2016, man. There was 4 years of this shit and it didn't move the needle for people. People's lives didn't get better. Okay? It's so fun. It's awesome. Really simple. Under-discussed reason why Kamala Harris shouldn't be president. No children. And no, becoming a step-parent to older teenagers doesn't count. That's great. That's awesome. Stephen Miller is melting down on
Primary.
Fox.
People, they had ballots. They filled out circles. They went to the voting booths. They spent money on advertising.
This is so funny because, like, this argument, like, who are you making this argument to? To, like, people who are Biden or bust? Is that who? Like, I'm an 85-year-old Democratic Party loyalist, okay? I voted for the Democratic Party in every primary, and I voted for the Democratic Party in every general election. I will never stop voting for the Democratic Party. And I also happen to watch Fox News, and I think this bald man, I take him very seriously. He's right. He's right. I am mad. I voted for Biden in the primary. Wait, you literally said you won't? What? You literally said you won't vote for Biden? Oh my God, people do. I'm making a joke, man. I'm not an 85-year-old lifelong Democratic Party voter, dumbass. I'm saying in this scenario, you have to like, who's he talking to? He's talking to a hypothetical 85-year-old who's like always voted for the Democratic Party, who's now like, well, I cast my ballot in the primaries for Joe Biden, and I'm really disappointed. My expectations were that Joe Biden would be the president. I care about that sort of thing and not voting for whoever the Democrat is.
And as President Trump said, the Republican Party spent tens of millions of dollars running against Joe Biden.
Oh, this part's really awesome. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Are you out of money? Can you no longer avoid the ads at the top of the hour? Oh, did you waste all your purse on Joe Biden? Oh, man, that's so... He's like, I want a rerun. It's unfair. Why did they go ahead and change who the candidate is? That's so mad. I'm so mad. In the words of Pokemon, if you're a broke boy, just say so, Stephen Miller. This is the only timeline where Republicans are unironically riding for Biden. I mean, this was pretty obvious. They were already like behind the scenes trying to lock him in. Democrats just canceled democracy. They threw out an entire primary and used donor extortion to do so, like a third world state. Yo, who is this for, brother? This only works for Bernie or busters. Like a person who actually deviates from the Democratic Party and like represents different interests. Like Joe Biden he has his roots in the Democratic Party. He's a calcified institutionalist. His replacement being made in the hands of the Democratic Party implies that all of his voters will unironically go and excitedly vote for whoever the replacement is. Did you say this only works for Bernie or busters? Yes. And even then it didn't work. But I'm just saying, like, the likelihood that someone votes not for whoever the Democratic Party's candidate is after they have voted for Joe Biden is even lower than the likelihood of Bernie voters that will not vote for whoever is the candidate. Hannity coming out hot on firing all cylinders. Let's see.
She wants to ban plastic straws. I love my plastic straw. I hate those paper straws. Anyway, she wants to ban.
Bro, I'm sorry. They're so cooked. They have to find new shit. And if all the new shit is just like she's black, she's a woman, she's Indian, people are going to be like, dude, what are you saying? You have to remember something really important. We have a false understanding of how like the broader Republican base of support operates because we're online. And when we're online, we only see the like the conceptual Lindy or conceptual James style people who are like, Kamala Harris is actually a Satanist Marxist. Like, no, man, like people don't see it like that. Okay. People don't operate like that. So if these guys are hitting this line and the only thing they got is like straw and then like, oh, she's Indian, she's a black woman or whatever I promise you that narrative will not be as important as you think it is. We have the capacity to place a lot of emphasis on shit like that when we're online and we get like mad and we're like, oh, but every American is like sexist and stuff. No, there's sexism, there's misogyny, and then there's like, why doesn't she have children? There's differences there. There's like normal sexism, and then there's the shit that you see online, okay? The normal sexism is like, oh yeah, she's a woman. If she's gonna be on her period, how the how can we have a woman on her period be the president? They're emotional. Like, that's regular sexism. Still inappropriate, still unacceptable, but that's just regular sexism. The way you deal with that is by immediately recentering the conversation to how incredibly emotional and incredibly irrational Donald Trump has been. The reason professional Republicans are freaking out is now they have to do politics, which requires them to understand normal people to some extent. But they've spent the last decade becoming extremely weird. It's so true.